Can you believe those pansies all came back from last year, even after being covered with snow quite a bit? And my candy tuft are doing well on that side. This was just a really huge white mound, but I'm late getting it videoed. It has really multiplied. That little one back there I just planted last year. It did really well. It was all white. It's candy tuft. It's an evergreen, so it'll be green all year until about a week or for 2 weeks in spring it blooms. The hyacinths actually bloomed really well this year finally, and there's a lot of seed pods. Huge amount of seed pods. It was finally really tall and very purple and pretty. I thought the rose bush was dying, but it's finally coming back. I gotta cut off the dead ones. That was a tulip I think I got last year and put in there. It didn't bloom this year. Another candy tuft which is doing really well. I eventually want this whole bed to be candy tuft. My favorite irises are huge again this year. They're just beginning to open. It used to be a really pretty showstopper from the street, but this pine tree has gotten huge and kind of covered it. But those look really good. I love the purple ones. Another candy tuft which is doing good. I transplanted those. They didn't bloom this year, but they should next year. There's a tiny little Columbine I finally got to come back. Finally got the phlox to come back. So there's 1, 2, 3 of those. The fiery bush died. And the Columbine. Some more Columbines that actually bloomed. I actually planted these last year. I've planted them 3 times and they've never done well, which is our Colorado state flower. These I actually planted last year on 4/20/2019, which was the 20th anniversary of Columbine, and they actually lived. I have 3 little bunches, which is awesome. I think the pine tree shading this area has finally made it where things will not get too much sun and actually live. Another view of the beautiful iris. And the 2 aspens have gotten absolutely huge. Finally repainted the front door, and it looks great. I'm finally getting a lot of the deck finished. I have the stairs. We still got to do the railing and all the stuff around it. And we still have to go. We're going to do a step down here and then finish it out to the edge. But we got a lot done before I went back to work. We kind of trampled this area. It used to be just a huge amount of strawberries. Everything's kind of moved because of the deck, but we do see some blooms down there. Quite a bit of blooms. My little clump of grass I planted in my cute little tulip pot because I didn't want it to die where we were building the deck. Some of my things are transplanted are starting to grow. This flower pot was always on the patio, but we need to move it to the deck now. It's strawberries. I can't believe they're actually kind of blooming because we did kind of trample them a little bit. We never get a lot of berries. We actually had about, I don't know, 4 times this amount of plants. Some more of my transplanted irises. This, let me turn around. This one did really good. It's really tall, but it's actually blooming. It's got quite a few buds on it. This little patch, it'll bloom next year. It's definitely grown a lot since I transplanted it. It usually takes 2 years when you break them up and transplant them for them to actually bloom. Obviously, I need to mulch and cover up some plastic. This one did great. It's got a lot of blooms on it. This is the only one that I have that's not purple, which purple is my absolute favorite. It was my daughter's favorite flower. And when we bought this house, the whole front yard was full of all these irises. I just moved them. They were like literally in the yard. This is a pretty one. It's the only bunch that's different. And I left it here. It's huge. It gets huge. It's, I don't know, it's kind of brown, maroon brown with a yellow center. It's so pretty. And there's another patch of the purple. All my years growing up, you could always find the pretty sun lemon yellow irises. I want some of those to go in between all my purple, but I cannot find them anywhere. Certainly not in Colorado. Even at home in Georgia and Alabama, nobody seems to have any anymore. It's a shame. It'd be so pretty. And this little bed here is where I want to put yellow in between the purple, but I just can't find any. This is where I transplanted a lot of those from, and my poor little bird bath is totally overtaken. I need a bigger one. These get so tall. The garden's getting watered. Haven't had any bunny action lately. I usually put poppies in this, and it kind of they kind of grow and bloom, and it kind of reminds me of the life game where you put a little peg in when you get married and have kids. I just can't find any poppies this year, and they did not come back last year. Bummer. I put some morning glories in there, but they haven't grown yet. I'm going to have them hopefully take over that whole fence. This is a blueberry that I brought home from Georgia 2 years ago, I think. Obviously I need to weed eat and go around there. My weed eater's messed up. But before our last snow, about a month and a half ago, it was looking better, but it does kind of look like it might be getting some more little, it's tiny, but it did have a few little berries on it last year. But just the fact that I got it to continue to live is a miracle. This is a maple my husband got. It was like a 6-inch stick when he ordered it. Now it's taller than me, so it's doing well. And this is a peach tree from Georgia we brought back. It didn't do anything the first year, but it's growing. It's really growing. It had some blooms back about a month and a half ago before our last snow, but it definitely will probably not produce fruit. But we just wanted it for the nostalgia and for the tree. This is our blackberries. They get huge and usually take over this whole little section here. But they're doing very well this year. Everything's doing so good this year. All those flowers usually are a month later blooming, but they're blooming early this year, which is kind of cool because I'll get to see them. I usually take a lot of trips in June, and I'm not here to enjoy them, but I will be this year. And then one more tomato that we just didn't have room for in the garden. It's actually doing better here. And my husband actually did start that from seed. He will not plant anything in the garden that he doesn't start from seed. So this one we might actually get some tomatoes here. We have a very short growing season, so we have to start inside like in January under the light. And that is another little pepper he just stuck in.